Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Aging in Action. And we're very happy to have as our guest today Bev Brisco, who a few people I'm sure out there know Bev through all of her community service, her volunteering over the years. And she's a very special lady. And we're going to be talking to Bev shortly about her journey that she's going through. But also joining us today is our good friend. I just froze my.
Would you forget her name?
She misses a couple episodes. We forget who she is.
She's dead to me.
I can't believe that. Okay.
All right.
Let's
You
start.
make me laugh.
Sorry.
And
I may have to go for a pee break if you keep this up.
Okay, sorry. Oh my God, it must be Friday. Okay, take two. We'll start right from the top, and that'll give Joanne a laugh. Anyway, okay. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Aging in Action. And we're very happy today to have a very special guest who we all love, Bev Brisco, who I'm sure a lot of people in the community know Bev through her work, volunteering and fundraising. And we're going to be talking in a short period of time about Bev's journey that she's on right now. Also joining us is our good friend and our co-host from previous seasons, Joy Wirta. And Joy is a very special friend to Bev, also part of her support system. And I think, like I say, we're going to talk a bit about Bev's journey that she's on right now. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, good to see your face. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you. That is just wonderful to hear.
I love your hair and makeup, and you look fabulous.
You know what? Look good, feel better.
Yeah.
Right.
Aw.
So, Bev, we've missed you. We haven't been, none of us really have been together physically for a while. And you were such a part of so many people's lives. You're out in the community all the time.
Yeah.
You're a fabulous representative for a number of different organizations. And but you've got a lot going on in your life right now. Maybe you can just
Sure
tell us a bit about that.
On July 18th, 2020, it'll be a day I never forget. I was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. Previously, a few weeks before, I had been diagnosed with bone cancer. So I had both of them. I had to have surgery on my right hip. Otherwise, and it was touch and go. There was a chance I was going to lose the leg, but I had an amazing surgeon who saved the leg. I was given 6 to 9 months to live. I'm now at month number 17. Not that I'm counting or anything.
But still, well, you're a fighter. We all know you're a strong person for sure. So.
It's been a roller coaster ride, to be honest with you. You know, after working with the Northern Cancer Foundation for so many years, I really thought I knew all of it, you know. And then being caregiver for my husband during cancer, 6 years, I had seen both sides, but I hadn't seen it as a patient. And surprisingly, inside my head, I honestly never thought I would. So it came as a shock to find out I had cancer. What? Me?
Yeah.
Me? So that took a while to digest. This whole journey, people are afraid to talk about dying, first of all. People are uncomfortable around, and I'm only just finding this out as I go along. They are uncomfortable being around somebody who has a chronic disease, a terminal disease, because they don't know what to say. Or are they going to say the wrong thing? And you know what? We're no different. We still want to talk about all the dumb things that friends talk about.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of having a good support system. Joy's a part of that, and you're right. Like you feel uncomfortable talking about it, and you don't want to. I mean, it's not going to go away though. It's part of it. Like Joy, how have you felt as a friend going through this with Bev?
I already told Bev I won't cry today. It's been an emotional roller coaster watching her navigate in a different way. Bev is known for her compassion and empathy in our community. She's got a generosity. She's a humanitarian. She's there for everyone always, regardless of who they were. And then if we turn back the clock to that spring of 2019, and we look at the last year and a half and some of the factors that we've taken into consideration, it's been hard to nail her down. It's been hard to tell her to, whoa, step back, sit down, breathe, think about yourself first, because she's always putting herself last. And we've really had to, myself and her sisters, and she's our mama bear in our household. And, we always just remind her that, it's okay to sometimes step back, and it's okay to say no. And I think teaching her the NO word has been our biggest challenge in our household. But you're right. She has an amazing group of supporters, and we're all in the background, and we know it's a terminal diagnosis, but I truly don't believe her giving up without a fight. And it's been interesting to sit back and watch from our perspective, when for so many years she was the one we went to. So we try not to overburden her, and to let her do her thing. But she's a powerhouse, and I know she's going to continue to power down this road and this journey. And I'm behind her and one of her supporters, but I also am one of the ones that'll call her out and tell her when it's time to say no. So that's the kind of daughter I am.
Yeah.
So I know this might be off topic or maybe not, but I mean, I can't even comprehend the journey that you're going through. But I have to believe a little bit, or like maybe you have some insights, like in the past year, with the COVID and everything, being delayed and all, all the stuff you hear, has your journey still been moving at the same pace? Like, I don't even know if I'm asking that question properly, but you know what I mean? Like, people are saying you have to wait 2-3 years for a surgery now. Well, you don't have time like that to wait. There's certain things you need now, right, Bev?
That's right. Okay, Lisette, let me put it to you this way. I am honestly one of the lucky ones, okay? I'm on immunotherapy chemo, which is targeted directly to the lung cancer. I am blessed with and I mean blessed here, because there's such a shortage. I am blessed with regular PSWs that come in. I am blessed that my nurses come in 3 times a week. Not everybody has that. But more than that, my support system is so strong. And believe me, there are a lot of people that don't have that. I've seen it more than once working at the cancer center. I was lucky enough to have my Yaya sisters who stayed with me 1 week at a time until May, when I finally said, I need to try this on my own. They got me through pneumonia that hit me in February. And believe me, that I think was my lowest point. I really, at that point, wasn't sure I wanted to fight anymore. It actually was a fundraiser that gave me back my fight. But what this has made me realize is I fight a lot more now for PSWs and the need for them. I find I'm much more vocal in things. And I mean, all of you know I've always been vocal. Yeah, you don't accomplish things without being it. But I'm even more vocal now because I see the needs of seniors. I see the needs of people with chronic illness, with cancer, who do not have family and friends that are there at a backbone for them, who do not keep encouraging. People do not realize that you lose the fight if you don't have the support. Why live? Why bother?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I think I'm to what Lisette was just mentioning with our healthcare system. I have, supported Bev in this process from, I think it's been from one of the first conversations was you're going to the hospital, you're getting checked, in the early stages prior to diagnosis, and seeing what's happening in our healthcare system with myself and so many others close to me right now on support teams. If there's a need, it's happening. There is no question about it. It's the turnaround's quick. And I think it's the priority system that many people have to understand, where if you're going in for a simple, maybe it's a simple procedure or whatever it may be, there might be somebody who bumps you. And I've seen that quite a bit in the last few months, where many individuals are getting bumped because we have the shortage in our healthcare system. But those that are in that, the mortar, the building, are doing everything they can to support our community and all those that are on site. May it be, patients, visitors, healthcare team. And Bev and I have chatted many times over the last few months about our healthcare system. And I think that's just it, bringing a voice and knowing your rights as a patient, knowing your rights, going to the website, talking to the healthcare team, making educated decisions, knowing what's happening with a pandemic in our community and who can. But to just kind of go, Lisette, I agree with you. It has taken a hit. And I think anyone who's going through, like Bev, a diagnosis currently or a condition, have to get educated more than what we were before. And those that are their support system, their PSWs, their, the home instead, the people that are actively involved, they need to step up and say, hey, what is it you need from us? And how do we make this happen? Because the phones can ring and you can move those phones pretty quick when you need to. But I have seen personally where there are individuals, well, how come you're doing that? Or how come you got that? Or, well, why are they able to? Bringing a voice to the table, I think, is really important right now in our society.
I think also as a patient, I've never really had a problem with this, but an awful lot of people do, that they'll get told something by their doctor and they really don't get it. Mm-hmm. And instead of saying, repeat that, or what are you talking about? Or talk to me in my language, down to earth. They walk away without really knowing what they've been told and how to do it. The other thing is, we don't always have to agree with our caregivers. We don't always have to agree with our medical team. This is my body. I'm doing this my way. Do I rely on them? Definitely. But I have made decisions over the last 17 months that I think in some ways have surprised my medical team because it was right for me. And people, especially seniors, need to become better able to speak for themselves, and to ask for things, get rid of that pride. The old thinking of, I can do it myself. No, you can't. You can't. You need to have the support system. So you need to ask questions. You need to make phone calls. You need to do it for yourself, not for anybody else.
I think you're absolutely right, Bev. And I know from our conversations, you haven't stopped. I think that's a fear of many of us, is if you do stop, what will happen? But you haven't stopped, right? You are still active in our community. You're still like boots to the ground, and you're like knocking on doors. And I mean, kudos to you. I mean, you are an inspiration to so many individuals. You are. You may not recognize it, but you are. But I think
the fundraising part of this, Joy, was actually what got me back on my feet. Let me tell you a real quick story. You know it already, but for everybody else. So I just come through the pneumonia. It was March, end of March, and Northern Cancer Foundation was having the fundraiser with Sudbury Rocks. And of course, I couldn't be a volunteer, couldn't do anything. I was lucky if I could walk 200 steps a day. That's how weak I was. And so I decided I was going to walk 5 kilometers.
Yep.
And I was going to raise
I remember that.
for Sudbury Rocks. And so because it was virtual, I was able to do a few steps a day. So it started off, I've got a huge backyard. And it was the spring, and I put my duckies on, and I'd walk my backyard, and it was 195 steps. And then I'd have to come in and sit. And I started keeping track. And I put it on Facebook, like I mentioned before we came on air about social media, and put it on Facebook and started showing my journey. So I had said to Northern Cancer Foundation, I'm going to try and raise $500 for Sudbury Rocks. And over a period of 7 weeks, I got the 5 kilometers done. And I had pictures and everything. And I also raised $8,100.
That was amazing. I remember seeing that post, and I thought, wow, you just don't stop, you know.
But that was what gave me the push, Gwen.
Yeah.
That was the turning point for me. When you're given a diagnosis, you start thinking, okay, I've got 2 months left. Instead of thinking, no, this is my term. You know, it's between me and God. We'll decide when it's time for me to go. That was my turning point. And once again, a fundraiser that did it for me.
Well,
changed my mental thinking.
Yeah, well, you always have that fire in your belly to get out there, and as soon as the word fundraise gets mentioned, right, you're ready to be rock and roll.
I'm a lost cause. You've got me at that point. So since then, it's been with Keeping Seniors Warm, fundraising for that.
Yeah,
we've been able to clothe another 100 guests again. You know, this is what keeps me mentally, emotionally
Yeah.
and physically active. And that's the important thing. Listen, I'm not saying this is easy. I have my rough days where it's pajama day and in bed and I hardly move, especially if the side effects hit from the immunotherapy. Like it's not an easy journey. There's also times when I'll hit a bad day mentally. If I'm in the house too much, I can feel myself going down that dark tunnel. And I don't want to be doing that. So you find ways of getting yourself out of the tunnel, and you develop new ways of doing things. Am I terminal? Yes. Am I dying tomorrow? No way. No way. Still got things to do.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. I know you're a fighter. That's for sure. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties there for a while. Ladies, glad you're back. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he was able to get back. I bring you up on my phone because the whole building's down right now.
Oh, but yeah, Nikki's back. And how are we doing for time, Nikki? I lost track of it.
I paused it and resumed it. So I think we still have a couple minutes left in terms of hitting our timer mark. And I mean, I've just been really captivated by Bev. We talked earlier about, you know, how involved Bev has been in the community. And I'm going to tell you, prior to COVID, I think I got lots of doses of Bev, whether it was at the Keeping Seniors Warm panels or the Senior Advisory panel. I always saw her at least once or twice a month. So it's been such a fresh air to see you again online, given everything that's going on. And you're right. You've been so involved in supporting other organizations. And it's such beauty to hear that you have an amazing support system that is now surrounding you. You know, you were the giver and now you're the receiver, and you've so earned that. And I'm so grateful to hear that that is your experience that you're going through, and that you have your, I think you called them the yo-yo sisters.
I
loved it. Yaya sisters. Sorry. Yaya sisters. Just made me laugh. You're just, you know, there's no one like you. You're just one of a kind. You've shared some really great tips, really great tips and information. And I mean, before we do look at closing this episode, is there any final thoughts, any word of wisdom that you have for any of our viewers? We have lots of viewers that watch this show, maybe in a similar capacity to you, or maybe caregiving for somebody else. Maybe they have PSWs coming into their home. Is there any, you know, final thoughts or any words of wisdom that you would want to share with our viewers that hopefully will remain with them to offer them more support?
Number one, if you're not happy, get on the phone and say it. And it's like I said at the beginning, I've always been vocal. All of you know that. I have no problem speaking my mind, but I've become even more vocal now. If you're not happy with something, you have to say it. But people need to also realize right now that in the federal government, we now have a minister for seniors. There is nothing stopping us from getting a hold of our MPs and our MPPs and continuing to push for seniors' well-being. Lucky enough, we just got back that we can have eye care again. That was being taken from us by our provincial government. Let me tell you how many seniors have sent on notes, and it's making a difference. When people think, oh, nobody hears me, yeah, they do. Yeah. You have to speak up. You have to speak up because someday you may be in my predicament. And you want to be sure that your support system is good. The other thing is it's really hard to let down your pride and ask for help. Me especially. That has been my greatest lesson in the last 17 months. I'm not good at it. I don't always succeed at it. And I'm still in the learning process. When we need help, we have to ask. And when we're not feeling great, we need to rest. And like I said, I'm still learning that one.
You never
Yeah.
slow down, Bev.
Yeah, you're an inspiration, and it's so good to see you again, Bev. It really is, and like you've always inspired me to be a better person, to help our community any way I can, because you're a great role model for all of us, really.
Thank you, Gwen, very, very much.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd back up that statement 100% too. I'll give you a virtual
Virtual
hug.
hug.
Oh, I
yeah.
love
I
my
think all of us
virtual
can give you a
hugs.
virtual
I miss my real hugs so
I
bad.
know.
We all do,
I
for
know.
sure.
I know. I mean, it's been such a pleasure having you online with us today, sharing your story, sharing your words of wisdom, giving me a little bit of my Bev dose here today and being able to talk with you. And helping our community age in action. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much
Bev.
for having me. I
Oh.
really appreciate the chance to say it.
Great to see you. Good to see you too, Joy. Take care.